Hello there guys. Today's video will be slightly different than what are used to watch on my channel. Today we will focus on most common mistakes players tend to make too often and how to avoid them, mistakes, obviously not players, at the same time. Every time I jump into online lobby and join a random match, I see countless amount of all kinds of mistakes and errors players make. What is actually worse, many of them either rage or insult me when I'm trying to help them out. To make things clear, nobody is perfect, neither I am. Everyone makes mistakes sometimes due to various reasons, we all know. Good players usually tend to make as few mistakes as it's possible, so they can win a battle or win the tourney, you get the picture. But repeating mistakes makes player kinda stuck at some skill level, and it's pretty low skill level, I need to admit. He's unable to rank up, learn and enjoy game in a way he's supposed to do so. So, get a drink, have a seat and enjoy. Mistake number 5. Using money ineffectively. The thing I really hate when I see randoms hosting game is that money level is pretty much infinite. So these games have no tactics, no strategies. It's just a matter of choosing Spain or Portugal or Holy Roman Empire and just exploiting this power of good Western factions. In my opinion, you should play with limited money, and pretty much everyone good should agree with me, same as a few vets do when I ask it before making this video. The reasonable money amount is between 10,000 and 15,000, so I like to set, let's say, 10,000 money for early period or high period, while 15,000 money is optimal value for all periods games where you have rules consistent of bringing 6 units of heavy cavalry and rest of the stuff. So don't play with infinite money, it makes no sense at all, trust me. Better set it up. Like I said, 10k is optimal. Anything lower will force player to choose between quality and quantity, which makes game interesting as well. But you know, sometimes back in past I enjoyed playing free-for-alls when the money per player was like 5k. So I had to bring good units, let's say 4 units of cavalry, and also some spears, so lower tier units, overall peasant crossbows, mounted sergeants, some peasants perhaps, pikemen, you get the picture. So if you want to enjoy a game without spamming so-called elites, like we all are used to do pretty much, just lower the money to 5k or even less, and perhaps put no rules actually, and this should make a game more enjoyable. Another common mistake in terms of using money is not spending all money you got. It's something I can't really understand. If you got something for free, obviously the host sells the amount of money. Why the hell you spent only half of it? It makes no sense for me, and I cannot explain this. Pretty much this is kinda pointless. It's kinda illogical. Next time, spend all your money. All. Mistake number 4. Choosing wrong factions and units for certain tasks. First, let me ask you, have you ever seen veteran rushing as Mongols, or attempting to skirmish Milan using Scottish archers, or using cavalry as meat shields? I guess the answer is no, because following rock paper scissors system and basics of each faction's strength and weakness, you should bring factions which are good to realize certain tasks, realize your battle plan. Let's say that right now I'm rushing as Aztecs. If this army will be commanded by anyone, even random, I will lose this without even a second doubt of that. Anyway, hang on, let me just order these freaking units and continue with this crop. In other words, think 2 times before you pick faction to release tags you're supposed to do. At this point you should actually ask why I'm not explaining which factions are good right now, which should be used against what and stuff like that. But this will come in my Academy of Multiplayer, which I will try to record and to upload in the few next weeks. It's kind of a video representation of my ABC of the multiplayer guide. So as you can see, I won versus the AI as the Aztecs. It's fucking great, but that's not something you are watching this video for. So let's move on to mistake number 3. Mistake number 3: bringing spears. Yeah, I'm aware of that. It sounds so odd for someone who didn't play this game long enough. In theory, spears should work fine. On the paper, the stats looks pretty good even for price. Defense 14, attack 7, charge 3, bonus fighting cavalry, combat bonus in woods or snow, can do shield room. Shit, they can do shield room. But vanilla version of Medieval 2, so base game obviously, is pretty much buggy, and in vanilla spears are just overpriced and they simply don't have enough power to stop charging cavalry. Forgot logic for a while, simply talking, bringing spears is pointless. The only cases when you should bring spears in pitch battle is that when you're trying to use Turks or Egypt as the rush faction, or you're trying to stop a rush, stop Scottish rush with spears. Militia, like Criminal Copy Kill did in the last army versus Nestor, and he won because Nestor attacked used his pikemen to attack spears. Spears hold on their own long enough, and this gave time for Nafatums behind the spears to get the job done and rout the pikes. So just don't bring the spears in the pitch battles, unless it's really low money game, or you know that you're playing versus a pretty bad player, or you are really trying to set up some new concepts using method trial and error. But usually it doesn't work, because good player will just charge into them, and while he will lost a few cavalry indeed, but he will quickly pull off his own cavalry, and you will lose 70-80% of these freaking spears in a few seconds. So it's much better to upgrade your cavalry instead, get 200s, 100s, infantry. If you want really counter cav, use your own cav, use archers, preferably crossbows, use 200 infantry, don't use spears at all. Thank you. Mistake number 2: wrong use of horse archers. Usually in pro games you can spot pesky horse archers outflanking enemy, countering crushers, pissing him off, and eventually being used as the last resort of light cavalry. In random games, which are rare to upload, you can spot horse archers being used as normal cav or UN wars, parading in the front of enemy, being exposed, getting just utterly wrecked, or using Catarban circle, which is utterly useless, or just mindlessly waiting on the flanks. What the hell is this guy doing with his 4 units of mounted crossbows, besides breaking the rules? This is just insane. And it's also painful to watch, without even mentioning that it's a waste of money, because, you know, if you get the horse archers, you gotta use them right, same as every other unit, otherwise they'll just waste their potential. You gotta send them on the flanks, send them to the enemy back, perhaps push him with the rest of his army, and charge at unprotected crossbows, like NC players or any good players, Assas players tends to do, and it worked really well. It worked really well in past against me, just because I was expecting that they'll just wait with this horse archers. They aren't really dangerous. No, I was wrong. You gotta be careful, but you also shouldn't waste money on this horse archers if you don't know how to use them properly, guys. You will be better with 1 unit of religious peasants, I mean religious fanatics or peasants, because losing them isn't necessarily bad. So that's it, guys. Keep an eye on horse archers in both cases when you are using them and you are countering them. That's my advice for everyone. And by the way, I won this battle even if Holy Roman Empire used this cavalry book and just wrecked all my infantry over here. But let's go to... Nice cavalry book, mate. Nice, great. Now fuck off and let's move to mistake number 1. So if you're watching, if you're still watching this video, write comment now what in your opinion will be the worst mistake in my comparison in this video, in this list. I'm pretty sure that most of you guessed that the worst mistakes in online battles made by new players is boxing and using other inflexible formations. Finally, get a bunch of archers and infantry, deploy stakes, form the box. Done. Are you proud of yourself? I wouldn't be on your place. Obviously, there are certain battles and tactics where Russia is losing to this box, often called noob box, just because he had 0 or not enough on missiles. But these cases are exceptions within the rules. Casual battle, boxes are getting wiped out in a few minutes. Pavis crossbows or even cheap crossbow militias literally makes bloody soup from boxed units. Inflexible formations are the worst ones. Box is best example of it. And seriously, if you're really trying to set up a noob box like I did in one tourney and one battle, because I was lucky, try to be creative. Use box, but bring some horse archers, bring pikes, which is really cool in all periods, especially. In one word, try to get rid of enemy's missiles, and that's also one of the reasons why I always tend to bring 3 or 4 own archer units, even as rusher. Breaking box when you have no... when it's properly made, like not over here, but in my tournament game, I made a coherent line of stakes, and I had behind my swordsman, my billman, and I won this battle. But this was very close. I actually should upload this sometime if you want to see it. But most of the boxes, and obviously noobs forgot to disable skirmish mode. That's another tip. What I was trying to say? When you're trying to break noob box, when you're rusher or when you're just attacking, make sure to exploit these holes, which are pretty much which cannot be easily defended. So usually I tend to skirmish. If I have no enough skirmishers, I put my cavalry in the wedge formation and charge from here. It works much better in Rome 1 due to slightly different church mechanics, but in Medieval 2 it works pretty well too. So don't be a noob, don't box out yourself, please. It's really no fun. And what is most surprising, the stakes aren't useful against cavalry if cavalry walks through them from the right angle. In my game I was playing England versus Russia, and my opponent just pushed through these freaking stakes. I was like, what the hell? Is this guy cheating or something? He just pushed through these stakes with right angle, and his cavalry switched to melee, and we all know that Drużyna cavalry has armor piercing, so this was rough time for my English nobles, but eventually I won with 12 men left, I guess. So that's another rip. Oh, my general died in the process of talking. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to share it with new players, with someone who thinks he's good but he's actually not. I hope it will be helpful for new players. I never tend to insult newcomers because I remember, instead of many veterans and good players, I remember my days when I was losing battles in the rows, when I was trying new setups, and this was kinda pointless from this point, but I had to spend some time on it, you know what I mean, and eventually I got to the pro. I achieved what I wanted to achieve, but I decided to help out community instead of just praising myself, just because I think that the section for beginners, in comparison to popular games such as CSGO or Dota, is pretty lacking in our community. There are a bunch of guides I made myself. There are a few others which I think personally really great, but overall I wouldn't be really patient to study it once more if I will be new to this game. Anyway, if you enjoyed this one, if you learned something new, or if you find this useful, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day, guys. I hope this video will be quite a bit helpful for anyone, even if not, I was trying to do my job. Alright, so have a nice day and see you in the next one. Cyrus the Grey, signing out.